Okay, are you somebody who experiences incontinence, whether that is the urge to pee like all the time, or it's every time you sneeze, or every time you jump, or after you do, 40 double unders or something like that? If you are, you can do this program, but you need to be really mindful of when you're leaking and what movements make you leak. And at what point in the movement are you leaking? Are you peeing every time you come out of a squat? Are you peeing when you're 20 double unders into a workout? Are you peeing every time you do a jump squat, every time you run? Or is it only when you hit 3 miles of a run? We're not programming a 3-mile run, but my point is to understand what your own triggers are for incontinence. And with that, it's also getting an assessment from a pelvic floor physical therapist so you can do some internal work and just have a better idea of what's happening with your body so that, again, you just have context. My goal for you and for this program, for every other thing that I put out there into the world, is for women to feel really confident in understanding their body and what their body needs right now in order to do what they want to do ultimately, and how to build capacity and what that process looks like for them. Because what my process looks like is not going to be the same as what your process looks like. We're delivering a really well-rounded strength and conditioning program that will get you stronger over time, and it will get you more fit over time. We also want your incontinence to improve over time, because how you're working out and how you're moving and how you're making adjustments has been really dialed in, and you know how to make those accommodations. So if you know every single time you get to rep like 20, when you're doing jump rope, you start to feel like you're gonna pee, stop. Don't keep going. That's when you stop, you reassess, and you either change your movement for that day and you modify and do something else, or you do increments of like, I'm gonna do 5 jump rope, 2, 3, 4, 5, reset. And I'm gonna really make sure my position is good, my breathing is good, how I'm holding tension in my body is good. And if you need that information, I have a lot of that already. But if you've gone through my postpartum program, you know it. You can know how to make some of these adjustments to your training, right? So you can do your 5 at a time, reset. Okay, good position, your ribs over your hips, and let your belly just sort of relax. You're not holding a lot of tension in your pelvic floor, and maybe you're breathing with each revolution or every other revolution. So it's right? And everything is just in a different position instead of really tense, really squeezing, pelvis is really tucked under. You know how to make some of those adjustments already. Quality will always be better than quantity when we're talking about making progressive improvement in your symptoms and your training. You build up to that quantity, but you have to own the short reps first. You have to own that range of motion first. You have to own that position first. You have to really own what your tendencies are and be able to catch them in your workout so that you know when you're able to progress. Because then maybe the next week you're able to do more reps and you feel really confident in what your body, and knowing that, okay, I'm not symptomatic right now, like I've made some progress. Is it always linear? No, it's not. And some movements might be really challenging. You might consistently experience incontinence. I would suggest in that point in time, reach out to Heather or I. Talk with your pelvic floor physical therapist. Get some context on what am I doing here? Like every time I do this movement, I pee like in this position or on this rep or whatever. Become an expert on knowing your body and knowing your tendencies, and then we can kind of reverse engineer what's causing that. But if you know you're not ready for 20 jump squats or whatever, do 5, or don't add the impact where you feel like you're gonna jump. You can have a similar stimulus without doing the exact same movement, right? And we can help you make those adjustments and accommodations if you're symptomatic, but the goal is to build into it. The goal is to build up to it and work with your body in the capacity that it's ready for. The programming may not always reflect that, but you can work into that. And again, the goal with this program isn't to just give you like, just do X, Y, and Z and no problem. No, we want you to understand your body. We want you to be able to figure it out. We want you to be able to troubleshoot. I want you to be able to lean into your community and your coaches for some help if you need that kind of specific support.